Kimberly,
Hi, how are
how you
you?
do? Good. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Have
Well,
you?
good. You ready to have a good show?
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Good deal. I am too. Let me open the show and I'll get right with you. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the No Cover TV podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you checking out the podcast. We are getting a lot of listeners. I'm loving it from around the world, picking up new countries, it seems, left and right, which I really appreciate out there. It's about the original local and national music scene. All genres, all age groups, it doesn't matter what it is, check it out. And if you don't like it, still check it out. Please do that for me. Use my three favorite words: support, support, support your artist out there. Go to the shows. If there's a cover charge, pay that. Get to the swag table, get the CDs, get the DVDs, get the albums, t-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, keychains, perfume, you name it, they've got it. So please get it and support them because they love doing what they're doing to put a smile on your face. In return, you're putting a smile on their face. So we've got a great show for you today, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Kimberly Ward's in the house from North Carolina, aren't you, Kimberly?
I'm here. How are you
You're
doing?
good, good. I'm having a great day. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's been a busy Monday, several phone calls, but nothing too bad. It's been good.
Well, good for you. So, you ready to have some fun?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I see you're what, an award-winning singer-songwriter. You like country, some folk, and there's some gospel in there. Am I correct?
Yes, correct. Right.
I like it.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. I love what you're doing here. Great. Really good. So, you ready to talk?
I'm ready. I'm here.
Okay.
Ready. Yes, sir.
You're here. You're ready. Okay. Well, I've got to take everybody back a little bit in time. Can we go back?
We sure can. That
Okay. Well, let's see. How far do we want to go? How about 18? 18 years old. You've graduated. I know you're listening to something good back then. What would it be?
Okay, well, that age range for me was the Backstreet Boys, and of course I did country, gospel, and Christian as well. But I just remember the '80s, '90s music. It was awesome.
It was great stuff. A lot of great music came out of those eras. Yes, indeed. So you're listening to that music. Um, I'm thinking gospel there that you were possibly in choir, whether it be school or church.
Both actually, church and school.
Both. Lovely. Now, how long through school did you do it?
Well, I was actually in a course that did even some performing too, and traveling a little. Let's see, probably ninth. I don't remember being my senior year, but I know ninth, 10th, 11th grade. I did choir at the school.
Amazing. That's great. And did you know when you graduated that you might fall back on that, want to do that someday, like you're doing now?
Okay, what are you asking me? Anyone who I went to school with that did music, or what
No, yourself. You're graduated, okay? You've
oh,
done all this singing and stuff throughout school and church.
oh yeah.
Did you want to pursue it in the long run, or everybody goes through their career? Did you want to come to it in a later date, or did you always stay with it?
Well, I've always stayed with music, so I guess I play the piano, so I actually like that as much as, and probably even more than songwriting. But I've
Oh yeah,
piano since I was 9 years old.
piano's beautiful.
So
That's beautiful. Any other instruments?
that's the only one I know how to play. But I have a guitar somebody gave me. I guess I need to learn.
There you go. You can play piano. I think you can do the guitar very easily. Yes, indeed. Okay, so now, Kimberly Ward, when did this come about? This project that you're doing now.
Well, when you say project, you mean songwriting, of course. You mean correct? Because
Yes, you're songwriting and getting it recorded and putting it out there and being a singer-songwriter.
some of my projects I'm doing with business, personal, and music. I've got like three projects going on since last summer. I'm excited that I can share more
That's
after
beautiful.
the summer. Well, to put this officially, I was probably around age 32. I mean, I'll give you kind of a big jump from 18 to 32. I mean, I did teach piano
Okay.
during some of those years, and then I obviously finished college. Well, you might not know that, but pursuing business heavily back then for 7, 8, 10 years probably. I mean, I'll be honest with
Okay.
you, one of the goals back then, we're talking about a while back, was like, I want to be an office manager. Well, here's the cool part. I know, well, we got to laugh, but it's also true. It's like, okay, that's what I'm kind of doing now in a way with music and business and computer and phone. It's the same idea.
Right.
Little
It
more
is.
getting paid by the hour, but that's okay too. So at least I'm happy. And some weeks are
Well,
better than others, but
right, right. We're having a good time. You're having fun.
that's
That's
right.
what matters.
That's right. Exactly.
That's what matters. So, what year did you start recording your songs?
That was around that age as well. Well, let me back up. I was starting to write more lyrics then, and I was going to say
Okay.
only lyrics ages. Let me just go back to age 30, ages 30 to 34.
Okay.
So, and I'm going
Okay.
to keep you guessing my age now because some people tried to guess, and I'm like, nope, nope, older, younger. I look a little younger than I am. That's a good thing. Well, let's
Right.
see. It's hardly an age just to tell you, but any time between ages 30 to 34, I was starting to write a lot of lyrics and poems and poetry. I did both. And
Oh,
of
great.
course, playing the piano still. And matter of fact, I had a baby then. I mean, all kind of stuff was going on those 4 years, ages 30 to 34. But anyway,
A
start
lot of
writing
things.
a little bit later, age 34.
Okay. Now, how many songs have you got out? Because I'm looking at Spotify right now and I see, what, 4 or 5 singles out there?
Should be, I'm saying, because Letting Go was recorded twice, meaning two different versions. So
Okay.
I still say 8 songs. And
Mm.
9 if you count Silent Night. Obviously, I didn't write that. I actually recorded several Christmas songs. I mean, the ones I recorded have been 12, but the ones I've written, of course, have been 9, the studios.
Okay. Okay. Great. Are they all singles? Or are there any EPs? Do you have?
Well, here's the thing. I actually didn't and have not released an EP, so to speak. I have a big surprise to see. We're in May. I should definitely know more by June 1st about music
Oh,
things we're talking about. That's going to be more than an EP. So,
so you're going to keep us on the edge of our seats, aren't you?
yes, because I'm working back to back with 2 studios. Not like major projects. I wish that would be awesome. Maybe by the end of the year. These are kind of a little project I wanted to finish for a while, but because of one last year I worked on between July and December that wasn't all music. See, with me, like I told you about office manager, I'm integrating this with music and business. So,
Okay.
to answer your question, an EP I've not released. I could have. I've just chosen to do all of mine as singles.
Nothing wrong with that.
But
A
I've got
lot
some
of
really
artists
good
do that.
news coming up. Yeah.
Well, I love it. Now, on what I'm hearing is stuff, studio musicians, friends, or it's your band.
Um, some of both.
Some of
I mean,
I
some of them
love
have
that.
been friendships I've had 3 or 4 years, and then some are like new people I met like a month or two ago. She and I are going to be doing some
Oh, they're
work together, and
great players, great players.
some of the
No,
people's names.
right. No, they're amazing,
Yeah.
amazing artists. And now, on some of the songs, are you playing piano?
Actually, only one.
Just one.
Because, so here's the thing, most of mine have been mostly lyrics. Okay, so I've been writing that for years. And then the radio DJs who've known me, I can name a couple, like Kate and Gordon and James Fincham.
No.
There's several.
Oh, yeah.
And I have told them, hey, I'm doing mostly lyrics, but yes, some of mine I have composed the piano parts. So
Oh,
for
beautiful.
example, Every Moment and It Was Insanity, those are my first 2 songs. Those are
Mm.
what I say guitar melody. So no one
Okay. Well,
actually do the music with those, but just came up with a little bit of melody.
oh, well, I'd like to hear more of the piano. It's a beautiful instrument.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
It
yeah.
inspired me because I actually, believe it or not, have quite a bit of piano coming. I've thought about this for a year or
Good.
two. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Before we jump on, tell everybody in podcast land platforms where they can find your songs and what you're about.
Okay. Well, let me start with my website, and that is KJ. Okay, these are my initials. Okay, www.kjwardmusic.com. That should be pretty easy. Fine.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. I like that. Very easy. Very
What
easy.
did that tell you? The YouTube I have under my name. I actually have two, but one of them is strictly like I'm looking at my music video for Just Want to Be Free. That one is just Kimberly Ward. Yeah, that should be easy to find for my YouTube channel. Other one is more fun. I've got the children. Okay, so I told you my mom. I have them doing a few things, and some is music and some is not. So that one's kind of personal and music together. That's the Kimberly Ward music one. And 3 YouTube channels. Okay, so then I have Instagram, and that's Kimberly.Ward.music.
Okay.
And on Facebook, I have 2 pages, and one is business type music. I do both. Is only the music. So I kind of integrate a couple things in my music and things.
Well, good. Well, everybody out there, check out Kimberly Ward. We're going to talk about music in just a minute or so, but let's talk about more stuff here. I want to jump over here. Listening to your music, I feel like I'm listening to some life experiences. Still in it, Kimberly? Kimberly? You're still connected to me. Well, we always call this technical difficulty. Let's give Kimberly a check. Let's see if she comes back in. And if not, we'll start over. Well, we won't start over. We'll start back at where we're at. Kimberly, can you hear me? Boy, we got to love the internet sometimes, people. Hey, there you are. You were out for just a second. You hear me? Kimberly? Kimberly, if you hear me, log off and I'll resend the link and we'll start. Can you hear me? She's trying. I love this. Well, I don't, but let's do this. Kimberly, can you hear me? Hello? Well, I know we're connected. Hello, Kimberly? All right. How about we log off and retry this again, huh, Kimberly? Okay, I'm going to log off. We're going to reboot this, and we're going to start where I'm left off. All right, Kimberly?
You're ready to go?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, my goodness. I have no idea what just happened. I'm like, can you hear me?
Well, we call it technical difficulties when we're on the internet. That's for sure.
Right. But I never.
Oh, did you hear my last question?
I did not.
Okay. Now, what I was saying, your music that I've been listening to, it sounds like a lot of life experiences in those music, in the songs.
Yes, exactly.
Does that go over quite a long time?
That goes over a span of literally 10 or 11 years, really. Life experiences. I do like to write about things that kind of happened to me. Some of the things are things they have said to me.
Okay, yeah.
So the song called Because I Did is a humorous country song. I don't know if you've heard it yet. But that's a lot of emotion in that song. Now, not to laugh, I wrote some of that out of anger and some out of humor. I know that sounds silly, but what a contrast. But I was like, here's your song for what you were asking me.
Well, it's your song. You sing it the way you want to.
But a lot of people like to ask questions, as you know, especially to me.
Right. Okay. I want to jump over to this right here.
Okay. Gospel.
Gospel means a lot to me. Speak to me about your gospel and singing gospel.
Okay. Well, letting go is definitely going really well. I actually had several challenges writing that I won't get into today. because,
Sure.
well, some was personal things, like my parents had a house fire. I'll go and tell you that. So
Oh, I'm
song
sorry.
was already written. Yeah, thank you. It was very hard. So I was literally supposed to be singing that week. I'm like, oh, no way. I had to cancel it couple sessions.
Hmm.
It was not
Oh,
supposed to be
jeez.
singing during that week and the week after.
Oh, really?
That was the
Wow.
end, that was the end of 2018.
2018. Okay.
So,
Well, I'm sorry
but
about
not be
that.
too sentimental. Everyone's okay. Thank God. That's the good news.
That is a
Whole
blessing.
story. But yeah.
Well, good,
Anyway,
good. Well, it's beautiful stuff you're doing here. And I see that on the platforms you have a lot of fans that are enjoying your music. What do you think about that?
I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited that people are giving me, well, for the most part, it's positive feedback. Occasionally, I get some other things. um,
Yeah.
like, why did you write that? What were you thinking? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I get those.
I think people do tend to say things about someone's voice, whether they like it a lot or they think it's terrible. Even when I hear other people talk about other artists, I don't, go share negative, and I'm like, yeah, she's a great singer. And if I don't think so, I'm going to be quiet.
Right.
Just the sound of their voice, it could be, with their voice could be anything. And since
Hmm.
I mentioned the house fire, I want to go back to that real quick because I had actually
Sure.
written several that year, quite a bit, and the year after 2019. And
Okay.
let me think. Just want to be free is not exactly gospel. I wrote that a year before that fire happened. And by the
Okay.
way, I didn't even write Letting Go because of that. That had already been written at least 6, 7, 8 months before.
Oh, all right.
So
Okay.
that
Both
gospel
excellent songs.
song, good.
Yeah. Okay. Now, have you been playing out at all, singing out at all?
I have been not as much this year, but the last 5 years I did quite a bit more in Tennessee and South Carolina. Um,
Oh, nice.
Locally comes and goes. One of the reasons is a lot of people, like where I've been living at almost 12 years, except for a year when I
Hmm.
moved. So literally for 12 years, people, I don't know if you think what you think of this, but it's just the facts for me. They kind of think, oh, okay, your songwriting, or we thought you taught piano, or we thought you worked at that county job. They're kind of, I know this sounds silly, but since I've written Christmas and Burn, I got a positive. I have gotten a whole lot more interest. So Christmas and Burn was released 2 years ago. And that
Oh, yeah.
I specifically worked on that a year and a half, 2 years before it was even recorded. And the reason I'm going to bring that one up because that's about the city where I've been living.
Oh,
And
okay. That's where you live now?
so it's actually called New Bern. It's spelled New Bern, Bern, because some people have different spellings for it.
Hmm.
I wrote a Christmas song about the city because I really enjoy Christmas time, and there's a lot of stuff they do. I'm really hoping to perform it this year. I've met some good, well, actually, that's my secret. I have a whole
No.
company that I can't tell you just yet because it hasn't happened yet, but they wanted to get the music from me back in January. And I was like, well, this is good. We got an 11-month start.
Right.
So I'm
Okay.
really hoping to get some things going this coming fall and Christmas.
Well, good, good. So it sounds like you're collaborating with some people.
I've actually been doing that for a while, but
Oh,
not as much local collaboration until the last 5 months.
oh,
And
really?
I know this sounds silly, but some of them I won't list to because you may know somebody. You're like, oh yeah, they're my cousin's brothers.
Right,
But like I said, just locally, a lot of people thought of me as like, oh, you write some music, or oh, we thought you worked that county job, which I did years ago. And so now that things have been kicking in good, I guess you could say. And by the way, I did a lot of karaoke the last 2 years back home. But that's not all I want to
okay.
do. I don't want to be known as like, oh, she just does karaoke. I want people to really know that I'm really out there. I've been to Nashville, Tennessee, probably 12 or 13 times. To me, that's a lot when some people might go, twice.
Right.
Of those let's say 13 trips, I recorded 4 songs there.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Almost 5 technically, but yeah. So I really want to be known more than, hey, she just writes lyrics and she does some karaoke here and there. Oh no, there's a whole lot. I've actually sang in a couple concerts with some other artists in Tennessee. Actually, 3 concerts there.
Well, beautiful. Well, I will do my best to get your name out there around the world too, and get everybody listening, support you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, all right, let's talk about this list that I have. You're a nominee for the 2024 ISSA Awards.
Yes.
Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You also... All right. How about 2022? You were a nominee for it too, weren't you?
I actually have been, I'm pretty sure 3 years back to back, the last 3 years.
Oh, great. Now I see 2023 World Songwriting Awards, and that was in gospel and one other category. That's wonderful.
Thank you. I believe one of my songs was about to get actually a prize for that, but that was Every Moment. I'm very happy about that song because that's very special to me. But that's one of the ones that was in the WSA.
Okay, great stuff. Then what do I got here? Country Songs of the Year, Every Moment, and it was Insanity.
Okay, we talking about the Red Carpet Awards now?
I just saw the poster that said awards and music, and it had your things there.
Okay, because one of them is the Red Carpet Awards. There's 3 categories, and that's taking place in August this year.
Yes, it is. Isn't it the 24th, I think?
I think they're doing it instead of a live show. Unfortunately, something's happened this year with a few things, not the artists, but some, I guess, clerical office things. So they're going to have it live. I mean, okay, let me clarify. Live meaning like not in person, but recorded where you can watch it live, on
pre-recorded. Yeah. I used to do that with my TV show. Pre-record it.
Okay.
And then edit what you need to do. Exactly. All right. Well, we got through that. Before I get to some songs, let's have some fun. I got some fun questions.
Okay. Can I mention the 2 songs in that real quick though?
Oh yes, go ahead.
Okay. So again, Every Moment has been in several different I want to say different awards, but haven't technically won an award yet. The WSA, I thought last year, but it has been nominated in several different places, and one was in Texas about 3 years ago. So like, for example, it's Country Song of the Year in Every Moment for the Red Carpet Awards. The other one was Insanity for Country Pop Original. So I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah, hey, that's great stuff. Proud of you, Kimberly. Excellent. Keep going. Knock those doors down. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's have some fun. All right. I'm going to let you have 2 answers for this question. A person that is alive and a person that has passed away. Who would you want to grace the stage with and perform with?
Oh, wow. Okay, so again, one who's passed away and one who's still living?
Yes.
Oh, well, let me think. The ones alive, I can name several because I got that answer pretty quick. Okay, well, this is a little sad because it just happened. That's why I'm going to have an answer. Like, I didn't just have to think of it, but this just happened probably a month ago, and I'll tell you her name. Her name was Mandisa. Not quite all the song material that I would maybe have written on some things, but I can relate to. And I'll give you an example. Her song Overcomer is one of my favorite. And I've been on about this song like 9 or 10 years, like a while. And an overcomer. I used to sing that before I was really heavily more into music, not piano, but writing. And I'd be in my car, I remember yelling it. So anyway, I'm sorry what happened with her. I won't get into all that today, but that was probably not even a month ago or 5 weeks ago. And I did actually cry. And, not always I'm like, oh, God, I actually cry about something. But she's not, I won't tell you my age, of course, but she's not super older than me. It's not like 10 or 20 years at all. So it
Right.
related to me, like some of her songs that I can relate to, I would have loved to perform with her.
No.
And the one currently, and she is younger than me. She's not that young. It's Lauren Daigle. Um, I would really like to meet her. I play some of hers on the piano too.
Okay, that's beautiful. Well,
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen. You don't.
I know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't. Okay, I like this question here. You get two answers on this one too. Anywhere in the world, what stage would you like to perform on?
Anywhere. I'm gonna say.
There's a lot of them out there.
Well, because I can't name all these places and concert halls, but London has a couple.
No, yes, they do.
I watched some online, of course, during the pandemic, and people got to stay home. Let's see if I can remember some of the name. There's like Royal Albert Hall.
Yes, the Royal Albert Hall is beautiful.
Yes, because it looks like a rotunda. I mean, I guess it does. It looks. Anyway, I guess that's the word, rotunda. I know some of that stuff from my granddad. He was in the Air Force a long time. Anyway, I like the UK. I like London. I've never been there. By the way, I need to get my passport. Now you got me excited on thing. The UK, a lot. I don't know how many. There's probably a couple hundred stations, if I had to guess, and some are FM, and of course a lot of internet radio are playing my songs, but especially It Was Insanity, Every Moment, and Because I Did.
Okay.
And the reason I really know is because the promoter would show me some statistics, and that's like, oh yeah, I really see it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right. That's great. Oh man. Since you've been doing this, you've been doing this a long time from when you were younger to now, you must have had some memorable moments stand out. Any that you want to talk about?
Just in music, just in general.
Yeah, music in your music career. Yeah.
Memorable moments. Well, one of the main, well, I've got a couple of those. I'll try to make it short because we could be here an hour or two. You're like, no, we're not doing the story today.
We got a little time. We got some time.
Maybe about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'll cut you off.
Well, when I was recording Letting Go and Going to Be Okay back to back, meaning they were just a few months apart, it wasn't like a year or two. They were both recorded within 4 months of each other, I think. The studio is called Cabin Fever in Tennessee. I won't get into all what happened with their financial state, but it was like on the news. So it wasn't like a secret. Okay, and I'm mentioning that because they had a lot of artists come to a concert, and I was one of them. I'm so excited. I think there were 17 of us. It was under 20. I think it was 17. That was one of the big highlights of my career, even though I've had a lot more than that. But I was going to say, unfortunately, it ended up raining that night. It was an outdoor event. Okay, so go ahead and picture the rain. People are coming, and now some people aren't coming. But it was online. They had television shows. Well, maybe I shouldn't say shows, but I believe it was CMA because I've actually had a little interview with them. That's why I remember it.
Okay.
It's really great because there were 17 of us at least singing from different states. It was probably about a 40-minute drive from Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you heard of Bon Aqua. I never have till I've been there.
No. Well, that's pretty cool stuff. Well, that kind of leads me into this question here.
Okay.
All right. You get on the stage, whether it's small, large, and you start performing for people, and they approach you, and maybe they start singing your music. I mean, how does that make your heart feel when you see that?
It makes me feel like very sentimental, like it. You put your hand over your chest, like, oh my goodness, a wow moment. Like what? Someone really heard it, or they like it, or they want to talk about it. I mean, because as a songwriter or even a producer, hey, we had this girl in here singing. You hear people talk about the songs because I've been in a lot of the bar and grills in Nashville. Okay, so people just like to talk about what they write. But when you meet someone or like it could be Facebook Messenger. Some of them I've gotten emails. I could give you several examples. Some of them, could have been a phone call like, hey, I actually listened to your song so, and here's what I liked about it.
Yeah. Well, very touching music.
Very touching. That is the word. It makes you feel like a wow moment, like they really like that, or it really touched their life.
And that's a great thing. And it'll always stay with your heart. And you'll always remember these times. Yeah. It's great. It's really great. Now, I have a question here. I don't know if I want to ask it, but it might have happened to you. Okay. Any embarrassing moments while you've performed?
Some of those have been in churches. I forgot to tell you a while ago, a little bit. I forgot that I performed in 9 churches. Because we were talking about karaoke. It's like, I'm sure he thinks I've done more than karaoke. Nothing like falling off a stage or tripping. Thank God, not that. That would be horrible. That would be horrible. But
Yeah.
mine is going to be, so I'm a talker. You can kind of figure that out. My mom used to teach school 30 years. My dad did sales and insurance for about 20 years. And then you get the picture. We have family members who are teachers and all.
Yes.
So I don't always just sing. I could be talking. So it's kind of funny, but kind of not. In some of the churches, and I'll share one. I won't say where. It's in South Carolina, and I used to live in that state too, by the way, a long time ago.
Okay.
So I
Right.
know people in North and South Carolina, quite a bit of people actually. So I have a tendency sometimes to not always do music, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be, singing. Then I get into a story. Okay, so if I ever lose the audience, I'm like, oh God, let me get back to where I was.
Right.
I would have to say that's some of the embarrassing things. It's not that I lost my train of thought. It's just that they're probably thinking, is she going to be done with a story? We want to hear a song. Because I feel like I have a lot to share. Some people like that, and some people probably don't.
Well, they can wait. I think you need to share.
But if it's, hey, why I wrote because I did and make people laugh, I'll tell them. Every moment has made people cry. It's not really why I wrote it, but I did have some hard times when I wrote that song. But yeah, for me, sometimes I have actually been in a church to talk, and I'm like, okay, now I'm crying. But that's the given. That's a good thing to go ahead and say what happened.
It is. It is. Let's talk about the 2 songs we've been talking about, Letting Go and Just Want to Be Free. Very powerful songs. Let's talk about Letting Go first, because that's a real popular song. Where did that come from?
I know that's a great question. Like, just where did it come from?
Mm-hmm.
That came from a lot of, I'll give you a summary, because there's a long answer. I'm going to give you the short answer. Okay. So this came from a lot of years of hard times. And, oh God, I actually literally had a supervisor years ago. This is like now 12 years ago. Like, Kimberly, let it go. And I don't know why, but people like to speak into my life, or at least they used to before I was writing songs and when I started. So I was like, that's it. There's a few people like, let it go. So I came up with one, Letting Go. And not just because of what they told me, but because of what happened to me.
Okay.
And what happened is, well, I don't mind telling you, one thing that happened was actually trauma. And I'm not crying today. Don't worry. I've had enough of that. From the trauma, hard times, or job changes, or career changes, or just things that were hard. Like, I'm not kidding, but sometimes car repairs, car problems can kind of stress people out. Okay, because I'm not a mechanic. I don't want to be one. So if you have back-to-back things going on, and I know I sure have, it can produce stress. It can produce tension, and you get the picture. So that's where I came up with Letting Go. It's a short version.
Well, it's a great song, and I can relate to everything you just said, from the trauma to all the everyday stress that you have to deal with, and try to let go and move on. Of course. It's not easy at times. Not easy. So how about the other song, Just Want to Be Free? That's a great song, too. Let's talk about that one.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say something about freedom. Remind me as soon as I tell you about the song. Okay, so I remember, now that was recorded, I'm pretty sure 2018. I can think of years and where I was at in my life, or where I was going through. So between 2016 to 2018, those years, quite a bit happened. But my son was, I think he was like 4 years old at that point. But besides being a baby and a toddler and all, I was going through quite a bit with family. Not as much like a job, because I was more staying home and writing songs, taking care of my child. But I was going through a lot with family members on two sides of the family, and it was very stressful. And besides that, I'm just being real. And besides things with family, it was a few things that had come about from past jobs or churches. And where people kind of still ask questions that they probably couldn't ask you. And they became stressful. So I was like, I just want to be free of these things and some people. And it's kind of how I wrote it. That's why I wrote it.
Okay. And then you wanted to talk about freedom?
Yeah, because that's the next thing. I realized, like everyone should realize, I like being free. You go to the beach or pick up and, hey, I'll give my job a week notice. I'm going to the mountains, or, I just giving examples. I like to be free in my thinking. And this is no joke. I don't know why. I've had many people, and not just family. It could have been a past job, or it could have been some people in music. Sometimes it's like they almost want to control your thinking. That's pretty blunt to throw that out there. You're like, okay, you're not me and I'm not you. We're different people. So I kind of wrote Just Want to Be Free like that, as well as one called Set Me Free.
Right.
There's 7 now. I can't remember them all because 2 or 3 are definitely not finished. So I have not all recorded yet, but they're coming. I've written 7 so far on that theme of freedom.
Really, that's beautiful, because you deserve your freedom and not to let anybody tell you what to do or how to live.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what's been going on. There you go, for about 8 years now.
Oh, we're going to stop that. We have to stop that. Now, when I was looking at the songs here, I came across this single, but it didn't sound like you. Is this your song, Because I Did?
Okay, well, that's what I was talking about a few minutes ago. Stephen, let me go and mention him, because he is the male singer and the main singer, but I do background vocals and some on the second verse. I remember because I'm hopefully doing a remix on that. That's one of the things I've worked on. Remaster, remix, they call it music. And it's not that I really want a different song. I just want a different feel to it. Stephen, I didn't know him really well. He was a studio musician. He played guitar in there with me. And one day he sang it, I would say almost as good as me or better. I said, why don't you just sing this song and I'll do backup vocals? And he really didn't do anything but just write with the guitar. And I wrote all the words. This goes back to 4 years ago in Virginia. Okay.
That was a real cool song. I like how the song was brought in by a 12 string, and that was really great. And it just kicked it in.
I think I remember that part, because it's hard to remember everything with every song. But yeah, there's a lot going on with that song, with the music.
But it fills out. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. All your songs. I love it.
I really appreciate that. You really got me encouraged today. I have not just worked in one studio. I've worked in 4 for different reasons. Some with money or financially, and some was different people, different project. So of the 4 studios, I've got these different songs and different type of feel to it.
Well, great, Kimberly. Studios are great to work with. You can find some great producers and engineers that can really make your sound pop. And so far, so good. Yes. So everybody in podcast land, get on the platforms and check out Kimberly Ward's music. It's incredible. It's beautiful. It's inspiring. You must listen to it. And thank you, Kimberly, for gracing the podcast today.
Thank you so much. This has really made my afternoon. And I'm not just saying that, but a few questions you've asked me I hadn't thought of, like some I want to maybe perform with. It's been a while, and then some things get me to think about, why did I write Letting Go? It was a sanity, 4 or 5 years ago. Thank you.
Well, we've had a wonderful chat and a great interview, and we will do it again maybe in 6 months or so, because I want to see what you're up to.
Oh, in 6 months, I can't say all the news, but there's going to be hopefully at least 4 or 5 things. So I'm really excited way before Christmas.
Well, we will get you on before Christmas. We're going to do that. So everybody look out for Kimberly Ward coming on again. So check out the interview here and get to the platforms. Check out the music of every artist that's been on the podcast and the future shows. And of course, today's show with Kimberly Ward. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Kimberly. We are going to get out of here now, but I am going to stay in contact and get this to the platforms, and I will send you the link. Okay.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed this as well.
Thank you so much. You take care, and everybody in podcast land, take care. I'll talk to you soon, Kimberly.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Okay.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.